Hi, I'm Nick, I'm autistic, and today what I want to talk about is my autistic traits. Some of these were more present as a child, and some of these I don't do, but a lot of them I still do. So the first one is imitating things from TVs and movies a lot. I repeat sound bits, throw them in conversation. As a kid, I always used to imitate inappropriate stuff, probably because I didn't know better, partly because I thought it was hilarious, like swearing and vulgar comebacks. They didn't go over very well, obviously. I just grew up out of that. But yeah, today I imitate stuff from like The Office, Futurama, stuff that are less inappropriate, and people get the references. Another one is that I would draw or doodle when I was in class, or if I'm waiting for an appointment, I'm in the waiting room, I'll just draw on whatever kind of paper I have if I don't want to play with my phone. And it's more of a stem, and it helps me just keep calm, regulate, and it also helps me focus on things as well. The third one is, and I still do this, I get upset with last minute changes to routines or schedules. So a couple instances off the top of my head is when I was a kid, they put the Christmas tree in a different room of the house, and I just lost my mind. I made a huge stink about it, kind of threw a fit about it's in the wrong spot, it's out of order, and needs to go where it belongs, kind of thing. And now I just kind of roll with it. Even if it's in a place that I don't approve of, I just kind of deal with it. It is a tree, or anything like that. If it's not gonna personally affect me, I just gotta remind myself it's fine. It's gonna be fine. It's just a small change, but inside it does annoy me a bit. Another example is a few years ago. It was Saturday, and I had a very, very long week at work. It was my cool down day. I was stressed out, burnt out, and all of a sudden my mom comes in, she's like, "Why aren't you ready?" I'm like, "Ready for what? What the hell is going on?" She's like, "Oh, there's a birthday party in like 30 minutes. Everyone in the family who has a July birthday is gonna be here for a party." I'm like, I had no idea about this. No one told me anything, and I just had a meltdown. I just got in my car and I just peeled out of the driveway, just took off for the day. I could not be around a group of people in my house or backyard. Just wasn't prepared for it. So I went shopping, which may sound contradictory, but shopping is relaxing for me, just going through a store, browsing things. So I went to a bookstore, got a few books. I found the Necronomicon. That was awesome. Another characteristic, and this can be seen as OCD. It's not. Is with clocks and dates. As a kid, I had to make sure every clock in the house is synchronized down to the second. If it wasn't, it just bothered me to no end, and I would have to get up, synchronize the clocks, wait them for both to change at the same time and set them. And so I knew when to adjust the clocks for daylight savings, and I knew about everyone's birthday in the family. And there were certain days that bothered me, like Easter and Martin Luther King's Day, because they weren't a set date and they would bounce around all the time. And the only one that didn't bother me was Thanksgiving. And that's because I could just look at a calendar and be like, oh, it's the last Thursday, so it's this day of the 27th. But today I just don't really care about if everything's synchronized or whatever. I can just take out my cell phone and be like, that's the correct time. Dates and so much I really don't care for anymore. I just too much of life to really worry about that all the time. And daylight saving time is the most useless thing society has ever invented. This is one that doesn't come up a lot, but I think it goes for a lot of people along the autistic spectrum. As a kid, I did not understand the concept of money. No one figured this out for a while, and so when I had to pay for stuff, I just like threw the money on the counter, and I didn't understand change and how all that worked. And nobody really caught on until I was at Disney World. There was a family trip to Disney World, and my dad gave me $100 bill and gave one to my brother and my sister, and it was to spend on whatever we wanted there. And my mom caught me trying to buy something that was $100, and she was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Buying a thing that's $100 because I have a $100 bill." She's like, "I don't even know what the item was," and she was like, "That you don't have to buy that." I'm like, "Yeah, I have a $100 bill. You can only buy things at $100 with a $100 bill." So clearly, I had no idea how money worked at all. And I don't remember much of the conversation, but I guess there was like a 2-hour argument trying to convince me that I was wrong on money, but I'm a lot better with it now. I am very good with money now. That's why I can have expensive things like my guitars. I just built a new computer. Is I had an odd walk. For a while I didn't swing my arms, and that bothered people for I don't know what reason. Someone always had to bring it up. "Oh, you're so weird, you don't swing your arms when you walk." So I started doing it more, swinging my arms, just to shut people up after a while. What I would do at a stim though, when I get upset, I would walk in circles, just pace in circles if I was anxious or waiting. Like if people were running late or saying, "Oh, we're gonna leave in 5 minutes," and 45 minutes later no one's moved, I start getting anxious and walking in circles. Or if I'm just thinking about something in general, if I'm deep in thought, I'll pace in circles or back and forth, and a lot of people seem to get bothered by it. It's not harming anyone, so it's really annoying when people tell me to stop or calm down. As a child, I used to take apart electronics, VCRs, toasters, whatever was broken, I wanted it. I never took apart TVs because I knew those were very dangerous. And the reason why I did that was just curiosity. I wanted to know what was inside of them, how they worked. I still take things apart today. If you see my other videos, I like to work on guitars. I did have a job repairing computers for a little while. I left that job. Not much to gain from it. Another thing that's very stimulating for me is colors. You actually learn a lot through colors, like music and patterns, really. So I try to organize through color. I mentioned I'm into drawing, so I used to have that mega box of colored pencils, and I used to try to keep them all in order. But you know, someone had to come along and mess that up every time. I'm not sure if this is an autistic trait. I'm very drawn to colors. I learn through color, and I'm a very visual person, and it's just very strong colors are stimulating for me. As a kid, I would prefer to read comic books over actual books because I like the artwork, and I just like comics a lot more. And also I learned music through color, so I associate each note with its own color. So like A would be red, B would be blue, orange is C. There's a few more I can't think of right now. And those are the ones that are not the usual stereotype things like eye contact and stuff. Hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.